Alright, we are going to be doing an example here where we are going to use the term and the sum formula together. So for this question, if you read through it, you will see that it's talking about an arithmetic series. So they're saying the sum of the first 10 terms of an arithmetic series is 60, and then they're saying the sum of the second and sixth terms is 9. Now, when we first learned what the sum formula is, we said that Sn is equal to n over 2 bracket 2a plus n minus 1 times d. But then we wrote down that this Sn means that this is the sum of the first n terms. And then we wrote down that this means we are taking term 1 plus term 2 plus term 3. So we're adding from term 1 all of the terms that are consecutive, and then the last term that we're adding is the nth term. That is what we are going to use this formula for. So we are going to use this formula for this first bit of information, because they're saying the sum of the first 10 terms is 60. So that means we are going to say the sum to 10 is equal to 60. We can then use our Sn formula, and we now know that n is 10, so we are going to replace all of the n's that we have with a 10. So I'm going to say that 60, because that is the sum to 10 terms, is n over 2. Remember, n is now 10, right? So sum to n is n over 2. We are working with the sum of the first 10 terms, so that's why I'm putting a 10 in the place of n. We are then going to say 2. We don't know what the first term is here, guys. They didn't tell us, so I'm just going to leave that as 2a plus, remember, this is the sum to 10 terms, so this n over here is equal to 10. So we're going to have 10 minus 1, which is 9, and we're going to have to multiply that by d, which we also don't know. So here we actually have an equation, and we have an a and a d in that equation. Just going to simplify. We have 60 is equal to 10 divided by 2 is 5. I'm going to rewrite this as 2a plus 9d. And just to neaten things up, let's take that 5 over to the other side. We're going to divide by 5. So we have 60 divided by 5, which is 12. So 2a plus 9d is equal to 12. All right, that is what we have there from the first piece of information. So I used the blue information where they told us the sum of the first 10 terms is 60, and I used that to set up this equation. Now, guys, if we're looking at the next sentence, they're saying the sum of the second and sixth terms is 9. Now, for this sum, even though they're telling us that it's the sum, we cannot use the sum formula. It's very important. Like I said here, remember the sum formula, we only use that if we're going from term 1 and then we're adding all of the terms in a row all together until we end up at a specific term. Here we only have 2 specific terms that we are adding up. We're adding up term 2, and then we are adding term 6. So we have term 2 plus term 6, which is equal to 9. That is the pink information that I have now rewritten, instead of using words, using symbols. But now, guys, you can probably already tell that we're going to have to do simultaneous equations here again. So I need to rewrite term 2 and term 6 using our variables, using our a and d. Now I'm just going to remind you, since we're working with term 2 and term 6, we need to work with our term formula. It is important to remember that even when we have a series, which we do have here, they told us a series, which remember is where you have pluses instead of semicolons, you can still be required to use the term formula. If they are talking about terms, we have to use the term formula. if they are talking about the sum of the first however many terms, we need to use the SN formula. So now guys, I'm going to again use this term formula to write an expression for term 2. Now term N is A plus whatever the N value is minus 1 times D. So for term 2, it's going to be A plus 2 minus 1 times D, because for term 2, N is 2. Now 2 minus 1 is just 1, so I'm going to have A plus 1D. That is an expression for term 2. Just going to underline that term 2 there. This is an algebraic expression for term 2. I'm going to do the same thing for term 6. Now for term 6, N is 6, so I'm going to say A plus, instead of N minus 1, 6 minus 1 times D. 6 minus 1 is 5. So A plus 5D equal to 9. Let me just use a different color here. Term 6 is now written in a different way using the variables A and D as A plus 5D. Now you should notice that we have like terms. A plus A is 2A and D plus 5D is 6D, and that is then equal to 9. So guys, we now have two simultaneous equations, and I'm hoping that you can notice that we have a 2A in both of these equations. So instead of making A the subject, I'm actually just going to make 2A the subject here, because then I can plug it straight into the place of 2A. That's actually a bit easier than making A the subject. So I'm going to say that 2A is 12 minus 9D. And again, I'm going to say, since I have 2A in my other equation, I'm going to put that straight into that equation there. So instead of 2A, I'm going to say 12 minus 9D plus 6D is equal to 9. Now you can see that I have gotten rid of A, which again obviously is the whole point of doing simultaneous equations. So I have negative 9D plus 6D. That is negative 3D, and I have 9. If I take this 12 over to the other side, 9 minus 12 is 3. Oh, sorry, negative 3 actually. I was distracted by the thing in blue flashing there. So D is equal to, let's see. Does this calculate? This is a new function. Not sure how to use it. Anyway, I'll figure that out. So we have negative 3 divided by negative 3. So D is equal to positive 1. There we go. That is the value for D. Now, as we know, if we know what D is, we can calculate 2A in this case. 12 minus 9 times 1. So 12 minus 9 is 3. So A is going to be 3 over 2. And what were they actually asking us to do here? They wanted us to find the first 3 terms of the series. So if A is 3 over 2, that is our first term. And now D, and remember it's a series, guys, so just be aware we have to put pluses. We can't put semicolons. Our D value, our constant difference, is 1. So to get to the next term, I need to add 1. So 3 over 2 plus 1 is going to give us 5 over 2. You can also write this in, or these values in decimals if you prefer. And then we need to add 1 again to get the third term. That is going to be 7 over 2. I'm just going to say plus dot 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 because there are more terms. They just haven't asked for them. If you want to, you can write 1 comma 5 plus 2 comma 5 plus 3 comma 5. That is also fine. All right, that is perfectly fine.